Hey everybody, it's me, Chris. I'm back over here in the kitchen. And I got Jack helping me out today. And we're gonna make a very simple but very delicious tomato soup. And Jack, you love tomato soup, don't you, bud?
Yeah.
All right, and it's easy to make, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's show everybody what we have here for the ingredients. So I have a can. You need a good can of tomatoes, 28-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes. I got a cup of chicken broth, but you could use vegetable broth. I got a tablespoon of butter, 1 garlic clove. I have a quarter of a large onion, or just use one very small onion. And then I have some baby carrots here. These are easy because they're already peeled. And then I have about the same amount of celery. I usually use about 1 stalk of celery, but I had the leaves here as well. So these are good in soup. I'm going to use that. I got a little bit of sugar, salt and pepper, some thyme, and some extra virgin olive oil. So I'm going to show you how to cut up these vegetables, and then we'll get started making our soup. For the garlic, I'm just using 1 clove, and I'm going to leave it whole. I just cut the end off and smash it, and I'll just peel the paper. All right, so for the carrots, I'm just going to rough chop these because I'm going to blend this up at the end. But I'll just cut it in half and chunk it up like this. And I had 6 carrots, but I'm missing one. Anyone know what happened to it? Now the onion again, just a rough chop. Don't have to be perfect. Just like this. And then the celery, again, this is a kind of big piece. I'm just going to cut this one in half and then just give it all a rough chop just like that. All right, so my vegetables are ready. I'm going to turn on the fire here and I'm just going to start heating up my pan for a minute. And while that heats up, I just want to remind everybody how important it is to do the mise en place. If you've not heard of it before, it's a French term. It means everything in its place. And basically, it's the prep you do before you start cooking. So getting your ingredients, getting your stock ready, your tomatoes, the can is open and ready to go. My vegetables are all chopped and prepped. I have my butter. I have everything I need, my seasonings. And that's mise en place. So you don't start cooking until that's done. Everything's ready to go. My pot's going to heat up and we'll start cooking. All right, so my butter's in. I'm just going to I got a tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then I'm just going to come in with my chopped veggies, carrot, celery, onion, and garlic. So just give that a quick stir, and then I'm going to put in my first bit of seasoning, just a pinch of kosher salt and some fresh cracked pepper. And then I'm also going to add my dried thyme at this point because I want to let it cook a little bit. I'll just stir this and keep cooking until these vegetables really start to soften, and the aroma smells great. You can already smell the thyme, the onion, and the garlic. Smells fantastic. So I'm going to let this cook till the veggies start to get nice and soft. This looks pretty good. And then if your pan gets too dry, you could always just add a little bit more olive oil. And now I'm ready to add my tomatoes. I'm just going to kind of put the can inside the pot and tilt it so it doesn't splash all over me, just like that. So I'm just breaking up the tomatoes a little bit, and I'm going to add my stock as well. Just like that. All right, so I broke up these tomatoes pretty good, and now I'm going to add the rest of my seasonings, and just another nice pinch of salt, because the tomatoes need some flavor. And then my sugar, and it depends on how sweet you want it, but just a nice pinch, like maybe a half a teaspoon or so, maybe even a teaspoon if you want. I'm going to give this a stir, and then what you want to do is bring this to a boil, let it start bubbling away, then lower it down to a simmer, and then you just want to simmer this. Really only need to simmer for like 10-15 minutes. That's it. You don't need to go much longer. I mean, you can stew it down for, on low for as long as an hour if you want to, but it's a quick weeknight type of tomato soup. So 10-15 minutes and we should be All right, so once this is done, now we can do the final step, which is I'm going to use the immersion blender, or sometimes it's called a stick blender. I highly recommend you get one of these. You can get them for as cheap as like 20 bucks. They last very, very long, years and years. It's a great tool to have in the kitchen. So this looks pretty good. Here, take a look at my soup. And all I got to do now is just come in and start to blend. And I got this on medium. And first I'll do it just very slowly. And just little by little, I'm going to start to break up all the big chunks of carrots and tomato, the celery. And then once you get it going, you can just start to move it around just like this. If your soup's a little shallow and this is sticking out, just kind of tilt the pot to the side and just go in the corner here. And you see how it starts to blend? And you get it as chunky or as smooth as you want. So this looks great. And you know, and by the way, you could use a regular blender, just be very careful. And then the last thing I'm gonna do, and this is optional, I'm just gonna add a couple tablespoons of cream to make the soup nice and creamy, and mix that in. All right, so I got some soup in the bowls, and we have a grilled cheese here for each of us. And guess what time it is, Jack?
Taste testing.
Taste testing time. Now, Jack likes his with a little bit of grated cheese in it. Go ahead, put it in there. And then for me, I just had a little bit of basil pesto, and I'm just gonna put it right there.
Daddy, how do I do it?
You could also put it all around if you want to make it look a little bit fancy. Just spoon it in there, bud. Go ahead.
Like this, Daddy?
Yep. Perfect. All right, Jack, now just mix it in and let's give this a try, okay?
Hold on. Wait, don't.
Yeah, we got a dunk. Always got a dunk. Jackson, what do you think? How'd we do?
Good. I want to try to dunk again.
All right, you dunk again. This came out amazing. That's how you make a simple tomato soup. So easy to do and really delicious. Don't forget, you got have a grilled cheese with your tomato soup, right, bud?
Yeah, and even a dunk is great.
A dunk is the best. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I hope you try it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share our videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.